There we go. Hello and welcome to today's session. So I can see we've got a good number here. We've got people joining in. I don't know where everyone's from today. So if you're from local area, if you're from Highlands, if you're from way down in the borders, welcome. And yeah, I hope that you enjoy today's session on using the accessibility options to develop confidence and support learning opportunities for all. My name is Niall and I'm going to be leading today's session. So I've got my phone here. If you hear him buzzing, it's because I'm logged in to try to make sure that everything's running okay. So let's move on. So there is our opening slide. Let's just admit people into the lobby. Hello and welcome. Yes, so a little bit about me. So my name is Niall. I am currently the Digital Transformation Specialist here at Tablet Academy Scotland. I was previously a primary school teacher up in Merkinch Primary School up in the Highlands, way up in Inverness. I worked with more kind of tailored towards the younger ones, but across the full school, and I did additional support needs as well for a few years. So this is right up my alley. It's quite nice because the skills that you take from the additional support needs kind of area using the technology is really transferable into all classes, but especially the younger ones. Things like your speech to text, if they are not yet able, if they're nursery, primary 1, primary 2, if they're not able to write their name yet, why don't we get them to use their voices to tell their stories and to speak? So today's session is going to have lots of practical examples, me referring back to lots of things. Oh, there's somebody coming in. There we go. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. So today's plan. Today we're going to be having a look, first of all, we've got a Menti first of all, then we're going to have a look at all of these different things. So we've got OneNote, PowerPoint, Word, and we're going to use our Bing search as well. Then we're going to have a short break to let you get your free MIE badge and get for today's badge, get a short break, and then we're going to have a look at the inbuilt options on your Windows machines and how you can use them in your classroom. Maybe you've got one-to-one devices in your class, maybe there's somebody else being admitted. Maybe you've got one-to-one devices in your class. Maybe you've got just one device in your class that you use as the educator. So I'm going to show you how to make the most of them. We're then going to have a look at Outlook, Teams, and then we've got a survey and time for your questions as well. So if you've got questions throughout, pop them into the chat. It's just me today, so it might take me a wee bit longer to get around to answering all your questions, but whack them in the chat and I will try to help you out as best as I can. So the first thing that we're going to have a look at today is a Menti. Now you'll see I've got a big QR code on the board there. This is something that I used in my class a lot actually, was the QR codes. I couldn't expect my P1 pupils to type out long strings of URLs that I had up on the board, so I used the QR codes instead. So I've brought that into practice today for you as well. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that code for you. I'm going to whack that into the chat. So your options are to either visit menti.com and search for that and type in the code, or you can go to the chat and you can click on the link there. My phone's buzzing, but it's because it's my comment that's coming through. Okay, so there's the link in there. I'll give you another second for the QR code. Okay, and our first question, or our only question for today, is what does accessibility mean to you? So I've put in a few kind of key points for you there, so you've got a bit of inspiration. So the question is, what does accessibility mean to you? I'm going to give you just a couple of minutes there just to type in your answers, and then we can have a look all together. Here we go, things are coming in. Oh, text to speech, yep. Additional support, absolutely. Fairness, great word, I like that one. Help, absolutely. Equality, screen readers, removing barriers, meeting needs, additional support, ability to access, yes, absolutely. Guided access, easier, fairness, meeting needs. What else have we got in there? Tech, that's coming up, good answers, keep them coming in. If you're wanting to put more in, absolutely go for it. Equity, yes, absolutely. Equity and equality, yeah, 100%. Meeting needs, tech, fairness, text to speech, removing barriers, absolutely. So I'll give you, we'll say another 30 seconds there, and then we can have a wee look all together. Quite nice because I've got the big screen beside me today. Usually I'm just using the wee laptop in front of me, but I've got the big screen and I've got my laptop in front of me as well. So it's a nice wee change for us there. Level playing field. I like that one. Yep. Okay, so let's all have a look, everyone. So what does accessibility mean to you? I really like that we've got things in there that include every pupil. It's not just to support anyone who may have an indication or a diagnosis. We've got things there to support everyone. Things like equality, equity, removing barriers, guided access, ability to access, access for all, meeting needs, additional support. These are for every single pupil. Like I said, I'm going to refer back to a lot about my time in class. It might be that your learners may have an indication of dyslexia. It may be that your learners have an additional support need. It might be that your pupil is just having a tricky day that day and they're just not getting the learning that's going on. We can use these accessibility settings for absolutely everyone. And you'll see today that I actually use them for myself. I use them in my presentations. I use them to support everyone. So things like, you'll notice that I've got my giant mouse cursor on the board because whilst we're presenting, it makes it easier for you to see in this presentation what I'm pointing to, what I'm looking at. So that is just one way that these options can help everyone, regardless of what the support they are needing. So thank you for joining me for the Menti. I'm just going to come off of that now. Okay, and we're going to pop on to OneNote. Okay, so the next thing we're going to have a look at is OneNote and all of these different things here. Don't worry, I've got my notes in front of me just in case. So I've got them. I've also got them up on my laptop as well. So we're going to have a wee look at OneNote now. So I've got it all ready to go. So the first thing is we're going to have a look at the pen tool. So I'm going to make a new page, and this is going to be for my handwriting for my class. So I'm going to open up OneNote. I've got my class already on the left-hand side. Just double checking you can see that. Yep, you absolutely can. Here we go. And I've opened up, I've gone to literacy because that's the session that I'm in, and I've created a new page. Okay, the title, let's call this page handwriting. Okay, now up on the top of OneNote, so this is similar to your class notebook on Teams as well, but we're just using the OneNote app here. We've got the option to go to draw, and we've got lots of different things here. So I'm just going to open up just a black pen. I'm using my mouse. It's not a touchscreen, unfortunately. So I can start my writing. So I can start putting my name. O. It's not perfect, but it will do for just now. So that's fantastic. Great for our learners. They can practice all of their sounds, all of their handwriting. I mean, as soon as you take away that pen and paper and give them, whether that is an iPad, a Chromebook, a Microsoft device, if they've got that opportunity to write on a device as opposed to paper, I mean, anyone's going to jump at that opportunity. Not all, but some. So this is always a great way to engage your learners. But it's not great. You could put a line in there for them to write along, but it's not ideal. So one thing that I can do is go up to View, and I can then go to Rule Lines, and I can put in some paper for my learners to write along. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to rub that out. Let's get rid of all of that. And it's the joy of having a giant mouse, is you can't click as easier. There we go. Oh well. We'll just ignore that dot. So I can now start doing my handwriting on the ruled lines. So I can do my it's a bit of a big o, and o. There we go. There is my handwriting done using OneNote. Your learners might prefer to write. Maybe they've got pens. Maybe they've got you know, what are they called? The pens that have got the wee cushion rubber bit at the bottom, so you can stylus. That's the word. They've got a stylus. They can write on their device. Maybe they've just got a mouse. Who knows? It's absolutely up to you. But you can use OneNote for your handwriting. I know my learners absolutely loved this. Totally turned it on the head. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to put in a little bit of an audio recording. So new page, and I'm going to come along to insert. Now I can go up to audio. So I'm going to put in my audio. So as a teacher, you can use your audio to give out your instructions. So good afternoon. Today I would love you to please put the date and your name at the top of the page, and then I would like you to please draw me a picture of a cat. Thank you. So then I'm going to hit stop. Now, as a teacher, I've got that instruction. I can send that out to all of my pupils who are using their notebook or OneNote. I can send that out to everyone. We can play it back by hitting play. There we go. So there is my audio recording. So as a teacher, you can use it for instructions, but as a pupil, you can use it to show your thinking. So I'm going to hit record again. This time I'm going to pretend to be a pupil. So I can see that the sum is 5 plus 3. To add those together, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 5 fingers on one hand, and I'm going to put 3 fingers out on the other hand. Go for those 3 fingers. And I'm going to count those fingers up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I counted my fingers, and that was how I got my answer of 8. Stop. And now I've got an audio recording of my pupils' thought processes. Now you could use this for asynchronous learning, for synchronous learning. I mean, there's only one of you in a classroom and up to 33 in a class. So this is a great way for you as a teacher or as an educator to go back and have a look at your pupils' work, to have a look at and see their thought processes and see how they've got to that answer. Okay, so again, as a teacher, I can now go back and I can hit play to listen to that recording. So I can see that the sum is 5 plus 3. To add those together, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 5 fingers on one hand. Okay, we've listened to that. We don't need to listen to that again. Okay, so that's how you can use the audio tool to support your learners. Maybe your learners are not able to read yet. Maybe your learners are struggling to read and to learn all of the sounds. You could use your audio recording to give out the instructions to support their learning. The next thing we're going to have a look at is the Immersive Reader. So here I've got a new page, and I've just selected just a new page just to make it easier for you to see. And I've written a bit of text. Welcome to today's session on the accessibility options. I know that the pupils in my class would struggle to read that. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on it, and we are going to go to View and then Immersive Reader. Now, we're going to come back to the Immersive Reader pretty much in every single application that we're going to have a look at today. Okay, we're going to use a lot of the Immersive Reader because it's a fantastic tool. So I'm going to click on Immersive Reader, and now you'll see that my page looks a little bit different. I've now got my Immersive Reader. So what that does is it allows your pupils to engage with the text that is on the screen and make everything just that little bit more easier for them. So before I hit play, we've got a few options. So up in the top corner, we've got text preferences. So I can adjust how the text looks, so I can make it bigger. There we go. It's a wee bit easier for you to see as well on the screen. We've got things like increase spacing, so you can make the words closer or further apart, or sounds and words altogether. You can change the font as well. So one thing that I found was really difficult, and one thing that was a real barrier for my learners in class and across schools, other schools, authorities everywhere is finding this difficulty, was the small A shape. So you'll see it there on the screen. That's not how I taught my learners how to write an A. We just did that. That's the two-story A, I think it was called. We just did the round circle with the flick. So when it came to that sound, they had absolutely no idea what that was. So what we can do is we can change the font of our text that's in there. So we can change it to from Calibri to Sitcat to Comic Sans. Now, I know Comic Sans gets a bit of a bad rap, but it's great because you get that rounded A. Now, you don't get all the flicks. That's just one of the trade-offs. Whatever works best for your students, go with that. We can also change the theme as well. So if you've got your learners who prefer to read on a yellow background, a blue background, a green background, absolutely go for it. Now, one thing that I was told a couple of years ago now was if you're ever making a presentation, if you're ever giving out something to students to read, try to do it on a really kind of dull yellow background. It just makes everything a little bit easier to see. You will see also in my presentation today that everything is done on that yellow background as well. It just makes the words pop a little bit more. I know it's a wee bit harder to see on the presentation, comes out a bit more white, but when you're asking people to read things and have a look at a presentation for goodness knows, well, this is going to be a 2-hour session today, it just makes everything a wee bit easier for you. So using that yellow as a background is nicer on the eyes. It's a bit easier on the eyes for people to read. So here we are. That's the one I'm going to choose. And let's have a wee listen. So I've got here my play button down at the bottom. I'm going to click that. Okay, and it's going to read the text out to me. I can change a few of the settings within the text reader. So I can increase the voice speed. Now you'll see that it's got the tortoise and the hare just for that visual impact, so that it's easier for your learners to see. Maybe they are unable to work out that the left side is the lower number, and therefore that's going to be the slower speed. The right side is the higher number, therefore the quicker speed, the faster speed. So they've got that image there just to support. And the last thing we can do is we can change the voice as well from female to male. It's absolutely up to your learners, whatever they prefer. So I'll put it on fast just so you hear what it sounds like. Way too fast. It's just ridiculous. So we are going to put that down to slow as well, just to show you.
Welcome to today's session on accessibility options.
Okay. Again, just to show you what that sounds like. I'm going to put that back to 1. There we go. We've also got a few more things. We've got our grammar options, so we can show the syllables by putting a dot in between the words. So if your learners are learning to read, then this will help them to work out. It does make it a little bit harder to see with the spaces. I find that quite tricky, but if you're focusing on syllables in your work, then that might be a nice tool for you. And you can also highlight things like nouns, verbs, click, there we go, adjectives. I don't know if we've got any on there. Adverbs, loads of different things, and it will actually label everything. So if you've got a large piece of text in there, it will show you the different parts of speech. I'm going to turn all of them off though. So for just now, large mouse makes it trickier. And there we go. Okay. And syllables. And the last option here is we've got our reading preferences as well. So we can put a line focus in. So what that does is it puts black bars in between the rest of the screen so that your learners have just that focused line to read. We can put in 2 lines if we're needing, if they're a wee bit quicker, and we can remove the lines as well. Let's just click on that button. There we go. We can include a picture dictionary as well. So if you've got from Boardmaker, so if you're needing to put in picture dictionary, you've got that option there as well. So I can click on these options. And the last one is we've got our translate function. So this, I love this so much. So we can translate this document into another language. So let's change, I had it on French Canadian, it should be French France. Polish was our third language when the 1+2. So I'm going to select Polish for here. Now I can either select by word to translate the word or the document. So I'm going to select the whole document and look, it translates the whole document for me. It doesn't change the original OneNote, just translates for this pupil. So if you've got a learner who's just joined your class, English is maybe their second language, third language, fourth language. They're not yet learned English, but they're more confident in another language. You can show them how to translate the document, and it will actually read it back to them in that second language or their first language. Okay. Nope. And you can jump between the original, in this case English, and the second language, which is Polish. So that is the immersive reader and the translate function in there as well. So you'll see it just pops back to English again afterwards. The next, we've had a look at the row lines. We can have a look at the page color as well. So remember me saying that if you've got that really faint yellow color in the background, it is great for your learners. So you can choose green, you can choose pink or red if you want them to. I would always go for the yellowy color. Again, it's up to your learners. Okay, just checking the chat there. So next up, we've got adding in copyright-free images. So on OneNote, I'm going to go up to Insert, and I'm going to go to Pictures from online. Now, if any picture I search on here is going to be marked as copyright-free, like you can do whatever you want with that image. So the basic example that I'm going to go to for all of today is just going to be cats. Okay, and I'm just going to hit enter. And now we've got loads and loads of different images of cats that we can insert. So let's go for this, a lovely one there. So there is my image of cats. So if you were doing any learning that involved cats, then you could include a picture for your learners just so that they've got that visual cue as well. And again, these are all copyright-free images, so you can do whatever you want with these. Hello, somebody's coming in the lobby. Hello, thank you for joining us. Okay, so there is you can use the visual cues with images. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to organize with emojis. Now it's quite small on the left-hand side. I don't know, without going into the magnifier to show you, but we've got that. Let's try that. Let's try it. Let's see what happens. Just give me 2 seconds here. I'm going to try and magnify the screen. Okay, drag it over. Okay, there we go. Yes, it's worked. Fantastic. So you will see here that I have used emojis in my as my titles. So this gives me the option to again add in that visual cue for my learners. I know that my P1 class, P1-2 class, anyone that I'm working with, literacy is a big hard word for them to know. So I've put in there a pen so that they know that that's the literacy part. We've got things like 1+2 languages as one of the topic headings. I've got the sound in there. Maths is an abacus. It's not particularly clear. It was easier. It was more clear on the laptop there. Music, we've got the keyboard. So to do this, all you're going to do in your OneNote is you're going to click on, hold on, let's turn off the magnifier just now. There we go. All you're going to do is you're going to right click on any subjects that you've got, and I'm going to hit rename. Now on your Windows device, oh, too far now. On your Windows device, if you go back to the very start, okay, and hit the Windows button and the full stop at the same time, that's going to bring up your emoji keyboard, and I can type for something. So questions, I'm just going to put a question mark, and there we go. We've got our question mark emoji. I'm going to hit space just to separate a little bit, and there we go. We've got an emoji so that it's easier for my learners to know what section they are in their notebook. We've also got my notes, so let's just put in rename. We'll go to the start. Now, I'll tell you why I do the start, because you'll see that sometimes the subjects go off the line. So they're too long for the line, and the emojis then at the end, you can't see it. That's actually how I had it the first time, and it didn't work. So emoji at the start, that's the first thing you see. So my notes, I'm just going to put Windows key and full stop, and I'm going to type in wave, because I know that that's me. So that's my notes, space, done. Okay, that's how to add in your emojis and how to organize the start of every topic. So that is OneNote. There's loads more things that you could include, such as stickers, maths, you've got your symbols, you've got your meeting details, you could include videos if you were wanting to include you giving the instructions. I'm going to close that down now. That's one of the options that you could use as well. But for today, that's all we're going to show you on OneNote. Don't want to run out of time. The next thing that we're going to have a look at today is PowerPoint. So I'm going to open up a brand new PowerPoint file, new blank presentation. So here we have our blank presentation. Something that you could draw on your learners would be one of the design ideas on the side. Now, I know for a fact that I have tried these before. they're fantastic and they look amazing, and for a large number of the students, they really engage them. But for a few students, that was the distraction they needed to not focus on the learning. So for example, I might have some keywords in here, just type in keywords, and whatever learning was going on might be down at the bottom, meant absolutely nothing to them because there was that distraction. So I'm going to show you what that looks like just now. Looks incredible, but is a huge distraction. So I'm going to come out of there. Cool. Okay, so for my slides that I used, for my PowerPoint presentation slides that I used in my class, I actually changed the background and I just went for a solid fill. And again, if you go for that really kind of, oh, let's get rid of that. Let's just start again. These text boxes, there we go. To do that, all you do is you go design and then you go format background and go solid fill. And again, we used a lot the kind of yellowy color. It's easier on the eyes. It's easier for your students to see. A lot of the times with projectors, the ones that I had in my class were great until the sun shone on them and there was just no chance in seeing them. The yellow background actually helped with that just a little bit. And my learners were still then able to see the board. So onto PowerPoint. We're going to have a look first at the audio recording. So similar to before, similar to OneNote, we can insert our audio recording. So I'm going to go to audio and I can either add in audio from a PC, maybe I've already recorded something, but I'm going to hit record audio, and very similar to OneNote, it allows you to record the audio. We can change the name if we want and we can start recording. Hello P7, today I would love it if you could please put your date on your work, send me everything on Microsoft Teams, and then go into your maths channel and complete all of the learning that is in there. Finish, you can play it back. We've already heard that though, I heard it the first time. So once you hit OK, you are then given this speaker. So I always put that just in the corner. Boop, there we go. You can adjust the color of it if you wanted to. If you've got any like school colors or anything, you can put that into there. It's absolutely up to you, but you don't really need to. And now your learners, whenever they have any piece of work that you've sent them out, they can hear the instructions in the audio form. Okay, they can skip forward if they need to, and they can adjust the volume. There's also a few other things that you could do. Again, like we said before, they could use the audio recording to get their thoughts out. So I've used these in my younger classes as a way to get their thoughts out, as a way to get them to tell me their stories. So I knew that my class absolutely loves stories, and I knew that one of the kind of developmental overview points was that they could tell me something. They could talk to me and they could recite a story, whether that is imaginary or whether that is one that has actually happened. And so I would use this as my evidence for my work. So I would ask whatever pupil number one, to just tell me a story, tell me something, recount the book of the week that we were doing, to recount what happened at their weekend. So I would get them to do that. So I'd hit record. As the student, they would say things like, in the story of Goldilocks and the Three Bears, there were 3 bears, and the bears were sad because their porridge was all gone. Kept it really simple there. So I would name that with the pupil's name, and I would hit OK. I actually had a table of all of their names. So for example, insert table. Just pull this down, and I would put the audio recording, bring to front, there we go. And I would actually put that beside their name. So pupil 1, it doesn't look great because I've just done it just now, but pupil 2, pupil 3. Okay, and then you've got evidence of all of their work, however many students you have in your class. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to have a look at dictating the notes as well. So you've got a few options. You can dictate in different languages, and actually these are all the languages that it will recognize the dictation for. I only speak English. So I'm going to click English United Kingdom, and I'm going to start dictating my notes for my students. Hello class, I hope that you are getting on well. Today I would like you to please answer all of the questions on page number 2. Okay, where did that go? Maybe I needed to put in a text box first. It worked earlier. Let's try that now. Okay, dictate. Hello P1, I hope that you are having a great day. New line. Today, I would love it if you could answer all of the maths questions on page number 2. Full stop, end. Dictation. So there we go. Now we've got our speech to text for our students. Now I recorded that as the educator. You could record that either as the educator, or you could get the students to tell you a story and use the dictate function to see what to have a bit of fun with that and to record their learning. So today in my class, I learned all about dinosaurs and the number 5. Oh, I forgot to put a text box in again. There we go. I actually put it in the middle of that text box. Hold on. Oh. Get rid of that. There we go. So key point there, make sure you've got your text box and make sure you put in another one before you start recording, because it put it in right in the middle of my text there. Today in Mr. Ridgway's class, we learned about dinosaurs and the number 5. So stop dictation. I'm just going to make that. There we go. Don't know what happened there. So in Mr. Ridgway's class, that's me, we learned about dinosaurs and the number 5, and that has dictated your students' work. They did not have to write a thing. This is a great way to get ideas out of their heads and onto the page. Maybe it's a story, maybe it's their learning, maybe it's a diary of evidence that they have completed. It's all there. Okay. We are also now going to have a look at insert, and you can include a video. So you could upload a video as a teacher showing the work that you have done, like showing them what to do. Maybe you record that on Screencastify, maybe you record just the screen and upload that as evidence of the work. I'm now going to show you how to do that using PowerPoint. So I'm going to hit screen recording. Now this might jump between presentations. I'm going to select the area, and I'm going to go to the presentation that I'm wanting to record. Okay, so this sits on top, and I'm going to start recording my screen. Okay, so it's actually recording my screen there for me. And as a student or as a teacher, you could start doing the work for them. Okay, so if I type in 5 plus 3, 5 add 3 equals. So today, students, I would love it if you could please answer this question here and highlight that evidence for them. We know that 5 plus 3, 5 add 3 is 8. Okay, to stop, all you do is you go up to move your mouse up to the top, and up there is the stop button. Now that is going to include the video on your PowerPoint, and you could include that there for your students so that they know what work they need to complete. So I know that if I sent this PowerPoint out to my students, they've got the instructions all there. They can actually see what I want them to do. It's a very quick example for you. Okay. The next thing I'm going to show you is the recording tab as well. So this one's actually quite cool. So up in the very top, you'll see that the option is up there for recording. Now I can, as a student, record my slideshow, and I can actually practice my presentation. This is more maybe for the older ones. They can record themselves and kind of get a practice and actually see what their presentation is like. So I can go record slideshow, record from current slide, and on, let's just show you. I have to swap from Teams just to show you. Stop sharing, reshare. Nope, wrong screen. It's because I've got the 2 screens now. Reshare this screen. Is it going to let me do it? I don't think it is. Let's try. Okay, Yes, now you can see. So as the learner, I get all of these options available to me. I get my video in the corner so that I can see what I look like when I'm speaking. You can turn that off and on if you need to in the settings. So you can turn them off and on. You can record yourself as you're talking through the presentation. You can include your notes, and when you start recording, it's actually going to give you some pointers as well as to whether you're talking too quickly, too slowly. If you need to move a little bit quicker, it's going to give you a few pointers for your presentation. So that's a neat little trick. So I'm just going to stop sharing again and pop back on. Start sharing the second screen. So let's just bring that all back up again. 2 seconds, sorry. Okay, perfect. Oh. Why has it signed me out? There we go. No idea. There we go. So that is using the PowerPoint tools. Anything else? Icons and emojis. So the last thing that we're going to talk about today using PowerPoint is going to be using the icons and emojis. You can insert images as visual cues, whether you're needing icons. Maybe for your maths, you include an abacus. Maybe for your art, you include this painter. So I'm just going to hit insert just to show you what it looks like. There we go. We've got that painter. We can actually change the colors of it if we're needing to. We can crop the image and we can convert it to shapes. Or you can include your emojis again. So like we did before, if we've got, maybe say you've got a question for your students and you want them to answer it, we're going to hit the Windows key and full stop, and I'm going to type in the question mark. So maybe you tell your students that every time you see the question mark, that is something that you need to answer. Okay, so that is PowerPoint. The next thing we're going to have a look at is, don't save that, please don't save that, is Microsoft Word. There we go. So we're going to have a look at all of these different things, such as the focus button, the dictate, editor, icons and emojis, reviewing, reading aloud and checking accessibility options, translating, handwriting, view, immersive reader, and page movement from side to side. So if I open up Microsoft Word, there we go. Let's just, so I can see everything. You will notice that I've got 2 pages here. They are exactly the same, but on one I have chosen a font that is really hard to see, and on the other one I have chosen a font that is a little bit easier to read. This is something to remember for your students. Everyone is different. Everyone has different fonts that they prefer. I certainly prefer that font on the left. If you're doing anything that looks nice, like maybe a leaflet or something, you can choose the groovier fonts, but generally I tend to go for the fonts kind of like on the right. You've also got the option to choose, now let's just see if that is here. Should be PQ, nope, can't find it there. On certainly on most of the school computers that I've used previously, there was the option for the Open Dyslexia font. So have a wee look for that. The one that I preferred in class was Sassoon Primary. It's not installed in this device. Most of the schools have them though, so ask about and see if you can get that one installed on your device. So that's Open Dyslexia font and Sassoon Primary. Those were my 2 favorite fonts. Sassoon Primary kind of looks like the Twinkle font. I'm not promoting anything else there. I'm just saying it looks similar to the Twinkle font. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this font that's on here because it's driving me mad, and we're going to have a look at our page now. Now remember me saying before that if you have your presentation, whatever you're sharing with your students, white really grates on you, and it can be so bright that it tires you out. So we are going to go to design, and we're then going to go to page color, and we're going to change the page color to this yellow here. It's a little bit easier on the eyes. You can go to more colors and make it even brighter if you need to, or even more white. It's absolutely up to you. I prefer to have the more kind of yellowy font, but it's up to your students what they prefer. Maybe they've got blue transparency on the top of there that goes on top of the work, and they need the blue background. It's totally up to you and your students. Choose kind of based on that. So we've got our background. I am now going to show you how to use the focus button. So when I had my students in my class, when you've got all of these options going on your screen, it can be a real huge distraction. So it's quite hard to get on your work with when you've got all these buttons that you can press. And believe me, they press every single button. So down in the bottom right, you'll see that there's the option for focus mode. So what that's going to do is it's going to hide all of the options around it. It's going to make the page background black, and it's now just going to have the pages on your screen. So I can still type. I can open up new pages. Hello, everyone. So I can still complete my work just without all the added distractions. You've got your options. If you hover over the three dots that are up at the top, you can bring down your options, and you can still kind of do everything if you need them to. It kind of goes into a dark mode, and they disappear again when you click on the page. So focus mode is a brilliant addition. So I just click on the escape button to come out of there, and there we go. The next thing that we're going to have a look at is the dictate function. So similar to before, we're going to go to over here. So home and dictate, and it's just going to act in the exact same way as you'd imagine. It's going to be your speech to text on your screen. So dictate. Hello, primary 6 class. Today I would love it if you could please complete the work on cats and dinosaurs and let me know how you got on. New line by the end of tomorrow. I didn't put the new line in, full stop. There we go. Stop. So there we go. You can say things like full stop, new line if you need to. You've got the option to put in auto punctuation in the settings button here. So when I go to dictate, this pops up. Can you see it? Yes, you can. It says tap the microphone to resume. So that's just going to be like your stop start if you need to. You've got the settings, which says auto punctuation. So it's going to put in the full stop for me, my capital letters. You've got things like your profanity filter. There's somebody just joining. Thank you for joining today's session. Hello. So we've got our profanity filter. We can also change the language that is being spoken as well. So if you've got a learner who has come and English is not their first language, they can record it in their first language, get their thoughts down, and then they can translate that. So I could put something like, let's go into our Edge browser, and we're going to go to translate English to French. Okay, and I could put something like my favorite pizza has pineapple. Let me know if you agree in the comments. And there we go. So now we've got our, for example, our French. I could put that in. I don't even know how you would say that. I'm not going to attempt it. But we could pretend that our student has recorded this piece of work. My pizza that I prefer has pineapple. I can then highlight their work, and I can right click, and I should have, there we go, the translate option. So I can highlight the work, right click, and go to translate, and now it's going to automatically translate that for me. It detects that it was French being spoken, and it has changed that piece of text into English. So now I can, if I want to, hit insert, and it's going to change that for me as the teacher or as the learner as well. I'm going to hit Control Z to undo. No, I'm not, it didn't work. There we go. I've also now got the option to, instead of just the selection, I can translate the whole document. So this student needs this whole document translated. It is in English, so we're going to select English. There we go, and we want to translate that into French for them. Okay, I'm then going to hit translate, fingers crossed. There we go. It has created a new document for them that has been totally translated into their second language. Now, this works really well for any learners whose parents or carers or anyone at home does not speak the language that you're putting your letters out in. Maybe you're putting your notes out to parents on your Microsoft Teams. Maybe you're sending them out as letters. you, or as your Word document, you could share that document with them in English that you've fully written out, and you could either translate it yourself into another language, or ask the parents or the student to show the parents how to translate that document into their home language. Okay, so I'm going to come off of that. Don't save. So there we go. We're back to the English document that we had written up before. So we can now go to the editor. So this is another thing we've got. So it's home and it is editor. So this button is actually going to give you a score out of 100 on your written accuracy. It's going to give you a score written about your spelling, your grammar, if you've got any refinements that it needs to make, if you are including too many kind of like adjectives or anything like that. It's going to give you a score out of 100 on how well you have done. So it's giving me a score out of 100. Is calculated at, oh, sorry, my editor score is calculated at 100 words. Maybe it's not out of 100. So I've got a spelling correction. So what has been your favorite? This is because it thinks that it is American English. So I'm just going to ignore. It's kind of like the ABC function previously. And we've also got our grammar. So hello, primary 6 is telling me that the option could be read aloud. Primary, it's going to read that suggestion out to me. It can spell it out for me. Okay, it's going to read that out to me. If I think that that's the better option, then I can click it and it will correct it. Okay, so that's the editor option there. We've also got icons and emojis. As you'll see, I've got a big emoji there so that my learners know that we're doing some work on the comments in the chat. So this is more for you all as the educators. Hello and welcome to today's session. Today we've been looking at loads of different applications and how we can support our learners with the accessibility options for each of these applications. What's been your favourite option? Please put a comment in the chat. So please do it just now. I'll come back to the chat at another point, but let me know what's been your favourite thing that you have seen so far. In about 10-15 minutes, we're going to stop for a little break, okay, and we can have a look at it then. But yeah, whack into the chat. What's been your favourite things so far? I'll come back to it soon. Oh, I can see them. Focus and word. I love that. Nice one. That was nice and quick. So we can put in the emojis again. To do that, all you do is you hit your Windows button and full stop. And I could put a comment in the chat. Maybe there's a speech bubble. Let's try. There we go. So you could use that for your learners to know that's something that they've got to do is put their comments in. Okay. We've next got the review read aloud. So, I mean, it took me quite a while to read all of that. As I was typing this out, to be honest, I couldn't be bothered to read all of that. So what I did was I used the read aloud function so that I could listen. I could have the sounds coming into my ears whilst I was doing something else. So I go to review along the top and I click on read aloud. No, that's where I was. So, oops. Stop. There we go. So I'm going to highlight my text that I want read aloud. I'm going to hit read aloud.
And welcome to today's session. We have been looking at loads of different applications and how we can support our learners with the accessibility options for each of them.
Now you'll see up in the top right hand corner, it might be a little bit small on your screens there, but up where my cursor is, we've got a few options. I can either go back to a previous section. Okay, I can pause or play my read aloud notes. I can jump forward and I can adjust the settings to the reading speed, make it really fast, slow, we'll go in the middle, and I can change the voice as well. So let's change it to Zaira. I'm going to go back to the start.
Welcome to today's session.
So what this works really well with is if your learners are struggling to read, they can be sent away with their device. They can actually take in all of the notes, all of the learning that's on that page and have it read aloud to them. Maybe you're having to support another group, maybe you're having to support another child. You could ask your learners to listen back to the notes that are there for them so that they can actually they know what to do. I use this, and in fact, I think someone else, was it Sarah, mentioned it yesterday, that the one really good tip for this is when you've written a huge big screed of work, maybe 5-6 pages worth of work, and you don't really want to be like reading it back. You've written it all, you've invested so much time and you just don't want to read it back. You're so tired now. Have the screen reader read it back to you. It's a great way for you to hear mistakes in your own work. if the screen reader is saying something that's different, have a wee listen, and then you know where your mistakes have been made. Okay, if you've got really bad spelling in there, maybe it's going to say the word in a different way than you were expecting. Screen reader is great for reviewing your work. We've also got in this review tab the check accessibility button. So I can check the accessibility options, so keep it inclusive. Let's make sure that your file follows accessibility best practices. Will help you to fix issues quickly with easy to follow directions and recommendations. So when I click on that button, there's no accessibility issues found here. Maybe your backgrounds are a little bit off. Maybe you've got an image that needs some alternative text. The accessibility checker is going to make sure that all of the content that is on the screen is going to be accessible to all. Okay, and I keep the accessibility checker running whilst I work, so that you've got a constant update on if anything needs changed. So what it will do is it will just have a wee pop up for you there. Next thing we're going to have a look at is, we've had a look at Translate. We're going to have a wee look at the Immersive Reader. So again, with Immersive Reader, it's amazing. I'm going to select that text there, and we are going to go to Home. Where is it now? View. There we are. Right beside the focus mode that Miss Mutter had mentioned. We've got our focus mode that I absolutely love there. We're going to go to the Immersive Reader. And very similarly to OneNote's Immersive Reader, we've got a few options that we can have here. So column width, I'm going to make that wide so that I get more text along the lines. If you've got learners who are just learning a few, they are struggling to focus on lots of words, just have a few words in there on each line. Change the page color. Again, you know that I like that page color, the kind of light yellow. If your students prefer the blue or the purple, whatever, it's absolutely up to them. We've got our line focus, so you can have the black bars across 5 lines. You can have it across 1 line, and you can use the arrows on the right-hand side to adjust that. So it will jump down for you. Okay, go back up to the top. So I'm going to turn that off just now. We've got the option to have a look at text spacing as well. So let's put it on narrow, moderate. There you go. You've got a few more words per line. We can have a look at text spacing. This was how it looked on the actual document, but we're going to change that so that there's more space between the words and the sounds, so it's easier for my learners to read that. We can again put the dot in between syllables. Hello and welcome to today's session. That's how they've broken that up into session. Okay, so you can include your syllables, and we can also have it read aloud to us. So,
hello and welcome to today's session.
Again, your options are in the top right-hand corner. You can jump forward and back, you can hit play, and you've got your options to increase your reading speed, decrease, and change the voice. So if I put on the line focus as well. Okay. So that is the Immersive Reader in Microsoft Word. Great for if you've created documents, if you've created screens of writing, and you're wanting to hear back your mistakes, listen back to your work. Great for that. And the last thing I'm going to show you is we are going to include a view. I'm going to show you that you can actually change your text from, this is what normally works, is you've got, sorry, I should have done this to start with. There's your normal page of standard page in Microsoft Word. I use side to side just because I find it easier, and if you've got loads of pages, let's do this for you there. Type in random words and sounds there. You can actually go back and forth through your pages by using this drag bar along the bottom. So if you've got all of your text in there, it's kind of like a book, and sometimes it's just nice for your readers to have something else that looks nicer. I found that if I've got to scroll down and down and down, I get really demotivated quickly. If I can see what's coming up next and have the 2 pages just like a storybook, just like kind of book creator style, then you can do it that way. Okay, so that is view and then side to side. So this is how it looks, remember, previously. So that was Microsoft Word. I'm going to come out of there. It's saving automatically for me. So the next thing we're going to have a look at is our Bing search. So this was one of my favorite moments during my favorite lessons, probably during my time in my previous classes, and also one that I wish I could go back and change a little bit. So this works for Bing searches, it works for Google searches, it's absolutely up to you. So I'm just going to go to, I've got the link in there, I'm just going to go to, here we are. So here we are on Bing, and I'm going to just type in Bing for you just so that this is what it's going to look like when you open, just so that you can see what it looks like. Right, here we are. So we've got a few options here. We could type normally, so I could type in Tablet Academy Scotland. Okay. Oh, there's my Learning Festival plans that have popped up there. I could just type in the words, but sometimes your learners might struggle with that. So delete that. We are actually going to use this search using your voice. Now, you could probably now work out why it was one of my favorite lessons because my learners were so engaged, but also one that I would go back and change a little, because once I gave my learners the ability to search on the web with their voice, they could search for absolutely anything. So I would be sitting in class and one of my learners in their reading groups or whatever would be sitting with their devices, and all I would hear is maybe the sound of monster trucks, or maybe I'd hear the sound of a football referee's whistle, and they've actually searched for things online using their voice, which was incredible when I was asking them to go into things like Chrome Music Lab and go into this website to complete their work, go into this space to find this piece of information. Amazing for that. I had nursery children who were able to search online. Absolutely incredible. But with that comes a lot of responsibility, and yeah, there's something that you could teach your learners about. So to do that, all you do is click on the microphone. So you've got to hit allow the first time you do it. Tablet Academy Scotland. You can either just stop speaking.
Academy Scotland, around 25 miles away, at 70 Tullibody Road in Aloud.
Is it? Because I'm right there right now. So here we are, and it is searched for me, and all I've done is use my voice. So if I was asking my students to go to a certain web page, maybe to research something, maybe the Egyptians, dinosaurs, the history part, maybe they were wanting to research renewable energy, maybe they were wanting to research up and coming events for special holidays, they could use their voice to search. And that is all what we have done there. Now, it does also offer there, you can search with images. So you could ask people to, maybe you give them an image of a sarcophagus or something, and they've then got to do the reverse image search and find out information on what that is. A great tool. Today, we're just going to be showing you how to use your voice. So again, all I did was search using my voice. Niall Ridgway. Come up? No, doesn't come up with me, unfortunately. Worth a try. So that's how you search using your voice on Bing and Google search. So now we're just about to head into our break. That could not have been better timed because that's just gone 5 o'clock. Mind blown. So here I have a special code for everyone. So thank you so much for taking part in today's session. We're halfway through just now. I am going to ask everyone to input this code, and you're going to get your own MIE badge. So it's a free code for you to put in, and you'll see here on my GIF, all I've done is I've gone to the Microsoft Educator Center and I have typed in this code, and it's given me that badge. So to do that, all you do is, I'm going to copy, nope, I'm just going to go to Bing, and we're going to go Microsoft Educator Center. And I'm going to copy that and I'm going to stick it into the chat for you. We'll see. And B. There you go. So there's your link to the Educator Center. Once you're on that, you're just going to sign in. So create an account on your Microsoft account, and you're just going to hit redeem achievement code. And in there, you're going to type in the code, this code here. Oops, Control Shift V. So there you go. So there is your code to get your badge from the Microsoft Center. So all you do is you click sign in with your account. Once you're signed in, hit redeem achievement code and type in the code that is there. Now everything is in the chat for you. I'm going to pop up a wee 10-minute break video for everyone. I'm just going to leave the GIF up for everyone just in case you're needing it. It's got the code there. I'm going to pop up that video. So we're going to start a 10-minute break just now. Oh, started right from the beginning. Hold on, let's skip through. Onenote, PowerPoint, Word, Bing, and here we are. So 10-minute break starting from just now. If my video is going to work. Let's see. There we go. My video is working. It's just a 10-minute video that I made on Canva. You'll see that we've got our branding there just on it. It's a nice thing that you can do with your students. 10-minute break. If you want to go and get comfort break, great. If you want to put in your code to the Microsoft Educator Center, do that now. And I will see you back here in 10 minutes. So that will be at 5:13. Okay, I'm going to turn off my microphone and camera. If you've got any questions, whack them into the chat just now, and I'll answer them for you just now while we're waiting. If not, go and get your comfort break. Hello and welcome back. Just double checking. Yep, my camera's working. There we go. Fantastic. Okay, so hopefully you've all got on all right with the code and it's all gone in perfectly for you. Yes, we're going to jump straight back in. The second half is a lot kind of smoother. Don't worry, we're not going to fit in as much. We'll hopefully finish a wee bit early for you today. We're going to have a look at the options that are inbuilt to Windows machines using the ease of access settings. We're then going to have a very quick look at Outlook, hoping that I've not had any emails since we started presenting. And then we're going to have a look at Teams. I've got a quick survey for you at the end, and then we've got time for questions. So let's jump in. Let's just double check that everything's working. Microphone's on, camera's on. Come on, next one. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to have a look at the inbuilt options on Windows machines. So on your Windows device, this is going to be called the ease of access settings. Okay, I use a lot of these settings when I'm presenting up on an interactive whiteboard, or maybe you've got the projector or something, whatever you use in your class. This is great for that, and these are where I get the settings such as the giant mouse cursor, changing the color of the mouse cursor, adding in things like blue light filters when you're working really late at night. Yes, we're going to have a look at those today. So those are broken up into 3 categories. The first one is vision, the second one is hearing, and the third one is interaction. Okay, so we are going to come out of there, and we're going to come down. Hide all these things. Why am I getting a... Oh, okay. That's fine. Let's just close that because that is the session that we are in. Nope, this is the next one that we're going to be in. Anyway, so we are going to open up our settings. So it might be down in the cog, bottom left for you, but the easiest way to find it is to open up your search and just type in ease of access. Okay, we've got ease and it's come up with ease of access and lots of different settings. So you can't see that. So in your settings, this is the joys of having 2 screens. Let's pull that over. There we go. So once you've typed in ease of access, these are the settings that will appear. You can see those. The first thing that I'm going to change is I'm going to change the display. So for you, that looks absolutely tiny. I'm going to make it bigger, and I'm going to hit apply. Okay. So within display, you get this blue screen that says, please wait for me on my second device. And there we go. It is absolutely huge on my laptop. I can barely see one full chat bubble in the chat for the meeting, but for you on your screen, it's going to make it a little bit bigger. So I'm going to keep it like that just now, just for these settings, so that it's easier for you to see. In fact, let's make it even a wee bit bigger again. Hit apply. So if you are presenting your screen to your students, whether that's through a team call, maybe it is up on the whiteboard. If you make the text bigger, it's easier for people to see back of the room, up close. Maybe they've got a visual impairment, they're needing to see that text. Great first tip. So you can actually change the size of apps and text that appear on the screen. So if you've got maybe Word is open, you can actually change the size of the text that appears for the top bars, okay, for all your options, your tabs. You can also change the brightness of the built-in display. This is only going to be for if they've got a device that's in front of them. It's not going to change it for everyone else, okay, so it's just for the device that you're using it on. If you've got students maybe with visual impairments, maybe who struggle to see things, or that are on the screens, you can actually turn off the animations in Windows. So you know when they like pop out, it's going to turn that off and they're just going to appear and disappear. I'm going to leave that on for just now because I quite like it. You can also automatically hide the scroll bars. So over on the right hand side, very small for you to see, but if I move my mouse away, that's going to disappear into the side. Is it? Maybe because I've got the 2 screens open. Is it going to disappear? Not just now. That should disappear. Oh, it's off. That's why. There we go, and it's gone. Okay, so it's less distractions for your students, and to get it back, you just hover over beside it and you can start using your scroll bars. You can also turn off show desktop background image. For me, you'll see that's my Tablet Academy laptop that I've got there. You can turn these things off and on. So now that we've done display, we're going to go to mouse pointer. So you'll see that I've got my giant green mouse pointer. I can make it even bigger. There we go. This just makes it easier for everyone to see. It's not so much for me, although I do have it a little bit bigger. I tend to have it for my personal settings around about 4 or 5-ish. Just easier to find on the screen. If I'm presenting to people, I tend to have the giant, bigger mouse. Okay. You can also change subtle differences about the pointer. So you can have just the normal white pointer. You can go for a black pointer if that's easier for your students to see. You can go to a pointer that changes color when it's inverted. So things like change touch feedback. The words change touch feedback. You can actually read through the mouse, which is really quite cool, the pointer. So it's quite a cool wee thing that you can have, or you can just turn it off. And so you see that's the normal standard one. And lastly, you can change the color. So you've got all these different colors to pick from. I quite like the green one. That's just my personal preference. Ask your learners. Maybe you could have a competition in the class. You get to choose the educator's mouse color. You've also got a custom color pointer picker from there, so you can change it to whatever you want that color to be. I'm just going to hit cancel there. So that's how you change your mouse settings. You do also have additional mouse settings up on the right. Things like how fast your cursor moves. So you can have it on really fast, so it's just going to zoom about the place. Too fast for this presentation. Or you can have it going really slowly. This is going to be painful. So I can move the mouse lots on my board, and it's barely going to move on the screen. So that might be something for your students. I think mine was around about there. I think that's where I have it. Okay. You can also choose the scroll as well. So when you're using your mouse, you're going to focus. There we go. The scroll wheel. If you've got lots of scrolls, if it scrolls lots, maybe your learners are going to struggle with that. You can change it to just one. You can change that how much it scrolls. Okay, so choose how many lines to scroll each time. So we're going to go back, and we've done mouse pointer. We've got text cursor as well, so you can actually increase the size of the text cursor. Okay. So that it's easier for your students to see. Also, you've got the indicator that you can turn on, so it's got those kind of blue circles that go around it. So if I'm typing text, I'm going to get those blue circles. I'll turn it off just now, and you can change the color again. We've got the magnifier. This was something that I used earlier with you to show you what, I think it was to show you the Onenote section, just to show you the different sections and how you can put in the emojis. So I turned on the magnifier. Now, be aware, if that is up full, it's quite hard to navigate because you can't see the screen. Okay, so you can put that up to, I think, 400. Oh, we can go even bigger. Oh, okay, but it's going to be really hard to navigate on your screen. So I'm going to show you at 200, maybe 300 as well. So turn on magnifier. And you will see that to move around, I just move my mouse around the screen and it kind of pulls the screen around. Okay. I can change that zoom level up to 300, 400, 500, 600. You could quite easily get lost in there, okay? If you don't know where you're going, if you don't know where the option to turn it off is again. Okay, so I'm just going to scroll then up, and I'm going to turn that off. Okay, great if you've got students with a visual impairment that need to be able to see more on the screen. Maybe they're up at the back of the room. Maybe your students just can't see from where they are. You can use that magnifier to point out key information. Okay, that's all the settings to basically just turn it on. Okay, next we've got the color filters. So this should work. You can turn on color filters on your screen, so it should work. So you can go for things like inverted. There we go. So inverted is just going to reverse the colors. So kind of back. It's kind of like night mode. Black background, white text. Your colors are going to change though on your images. Okay. So there's inverted. You've got grayscale. So you can see on the wheel here what that all looks like. Grayscale inverted. It's just going to get rid of all the colors, but invert it. Red and green. So this is to do with color blindness filters as well. So if you've got students who may have an indication of being colorblind or having a color blindness, sorry, then they can. You could use these to support them. You've got red and green for, that's the deuteranopia, protanopia, and lastly you've got blue and yellow. Okay, so to support all of your learners, so you can change the color filters as well. You can put on high contrast mode. So if you've got any learners who, again, are struggling to see, maybe a visual impairment, you can turn on high contrast mode. And you've got different options within that. So things like high contrast white, high contrast black. Playing around with these earlier. There we go, high contrast number 2. So you can actually adjust these settings to suit your learners. Maybe your hyperlinks, you want them to be like a bright pink. They'll turn all hyperlinks into that bright pink color. And lastly, high contrast 1. Okay, and you can select all the different colors that will apply to your students. So I'm going to turn that off just now. Give it a second. There we go. We've got the narrator button. So this is your screen reader. To access your screen reader, what you're going to do is you are going to hit turn it on there, and okay, and Control and Enter, not Control, is it Control? Windows key Control and Enter is going to bring up your narrator options. Okay, mine is turned up really fast. What was I playing around with? There we go. So you can probably hear mine is speaking just now. So I'm gonna use, how do I turn the narrator off? There we go. Right, so within the narrator, I'm gonna turn that off just now whilst I'm talking to you. You can actually navigate using the tab button. So you can jump between different sections that you want read out to you. So if I turn it on and I hit the tab option, so I'm going to click on this page. What am I doing? Okay. Minimize. There we go. Okay, so you can hear when I move my mouse around, it's going to start reading out to me. So I can hit. Oh my word! What are you? Settings window. Thank you. Right. Oh, I think it's maybe because I'm sharing my screen. It's been a wee bit trickier there for me just now. So all you're going to do is still reading out to me. All you're going to do is you're going to turn that on. You've got your Windows key, Control and Enter to turn it on and off as you go. If you press the tab key, it's going to jump between the different parts. So it's going to read out that part of the screen to you, and you can adjust things like capitalized text and different things. So have a wee play around with that for your learners. I tend to just use the immersive readers using the apps. It's absolutely up to you what you use. Okay, we've also got the option for your hearing, additional kind of accessibility options. So changing your device volume, you can do that from in there. You can change the device app, whole device or app volumes by clicking on that button. You can turn on mono audio as well. Maybe you've got a learner who's got a hearing impairment in one ear, so they're needing you to be able to. They want to be able to hear mono audio, so that all the sound is just in that left headphone or earphone. You can turn on mono audio instead of stereo, where it's going to play the different instruments in different parts depending on the panning of the track. So you can turn on mono audio so they hear everything in one headphone. And you can also turn on audio alerts as well, so visually. So flash the title bar when, and you can do things like when you get any alerts, you can flash either the entire screen, the active window, or the title bar, so down up at the top, sorry, it will flash for you. So we've also got closed captions. These are your settings for when you are turning on closed captions. Maybe you've got videos that you're playing, you can turn on the wee CC button, and this is what the captions are going to look like. So you can change things like the default color to green. It's a bit harder to see, but your learners might prefer that. Play around with those settings. Transparency, maybe you're wanting to put default, and you can put things behind it as well. So depressed, you can put in drop shadow, so it's all going to change around with the settings. Play around with those there. You can also change caption background colors and caption background transparency. So I'm going to put in, say, a black background. It's not appeared, but you can, you know what I mean. You can put in the caption black backgrounds, so it just puts a box around the text that appears. You can also play around with your speech settings as well. So you can use your voice instead of typing. Again, this is very similar to the options that we've got in our Microsoft Word, OneNote, on the Bing search, but you can actually do it wherever you're wanting to. So all you're going to do is you're going to hit the Windows key and then H to start your dictation. So turn on speech recognition. That's been turned on for me. So when I click on, say, a search bar here, I can just go Windows button and H, and it's going to start listening. So, sorry, it's listening on the other screen. Next, it's because I've changed my microphone. It's trying to adjust the volume of the microphone at the moment because I plugged in a new one for this meeting. Next, yes, it's all good. Am I going to get through? Next. Skip tutorial. There we go. Right. Okay. So I can press things like Control H, Windows button and H, and it should start just typing for me. Change the mouse pointer. It's going to work. It was working earlier. There you go, so you can see what I'm looking at. No, it's been a bit funny just now. So anyway, that is how you do it. Sorry, it's not working just now. Typical nightmare. It was working earlier. So all you do is you hit Windows key and H to start to turn on your voice recognition. And it's going to start typing for you instead of, well, it's going to take your speech, put it into text instead of you having to type. Okay. So that's the speech. That's going to be a really key one. Have a look on there. Your students will likely enjoy using that one and start speaking into it. You've got options for your keyboard, you've got options for your mouse, and you've got options for eye control as well. So things that I would use that for would be the what's happened there is the, can I show you? No, it's just going very slow for me now. Would be down in the bottom right hand corner. You've got where it says that where it's got the comments. You've got things. You've got your nightlight in there. Okay, and so that's going to change the blue. It's like essentially a blue light filter. So if you're working late at night, you're not going to get the sore head from getting all the blue light glaring back at you. Okay. So sorry, I'm super zoomed in right now. It's probably why I'm having a bit of difficulty. So we're going to go settings, and I'm going to reduce the magnification. Display 100. There we go. Apply. Right, perfect. It's not super zoomed in on the laptop screen anymore. There we go. Okay, the next thing we're going to have a look at is the Outlook options. So I'm going to open up Outlook. You can see it. Hopefully nobody's emailed me. There we go, perfect. So you will notice that I have an email here from Niall Ridgway. Maybe I should actually zoom in a wee bit again, just so you can read that. Let's do that. Someone let me know in the comments. Are you able to read? Is that a wee bit easier for you now? Hopefully. So I've got my email there. I can see that it's from Niall Ridgway, which is me. Messages. Yes, perfect, thank you. So I've got my email there, but I mean, I don't know what it says. I'm struggling to read it. I've been really busy all day and I just can't take, I'm not absorbing what this message is saying. So up along the top, you've got the option for read aloud. So I'm just going to hit that.
Afternoon, Niall. I'm clicking read aloud to hear this email.
So you'll see on the top right hand corner, suddenly I've got the read aloud settings have appeared. So I can, just as everything else we've been looking at today, I can adjust the reading speed and I can adjust the voice as well. I can go back a section, I can click play, and I can go forward a section as well. So I can hit play and go back to the start.
Afternoon, Niall. I'm clicking read aloud to hear this email.
Okay, so that's how you can use the read aloud function. So you could get your students, you could be sending out your emails to your students and you could get them to have that read out to them. Maybe you're using this yourself. It's 5 o'clock at night. You've just had an email through. Your brain is fit to burst. You just can't read it. Have it read aloud to you, taking the information that is there. Okay, so that is a read aloud function. We've also got the dictate function as well. So here is my new email I'm about to send out. I'm going to click on where the main body of the text is going to go, and I can hit dictate. So I can go, "Good afternoon, Niall," new line. "I hope that you've had a great day, full stop. I wonder how you got on in 6th period, full stop. Kind regards, Niall." Perfect. Spelled my name wrong, but that's fine. You've got a few options that appear for you, so you can adjust the settings, auto punctuation, which it did for me, profanity filter, and you can change the spoken language. You've also got the options to start and stop the microphone from recording you, and you've got your help button, and you've also got the option just to move or close this box. So I'm just going to hit close just now. So there we've used the dictate, the microphone on Outlook. So our students can send us emails, you can send your students emails as well and have things read out to you, or you could use your speech to text to record your thoughts for an email. We can also hit the Immersive Reader. So within our email, we've actually got access to the Immersive Reader, exactly the same as we've been having a look at for the other options. Adjust your column width from wide to narrow, adjust your page color, adjust your line focus from 5 lines, maybe you want 1 line in there. I hope you've had a great day. So it's easier for your students to read. Put in your syllables, marks if you're needing them. Have all of that read aloud to you.
Niall Ridgway Digital Transformation.
Okay, and lastly, close the Immersive Reader. Okay, so I'm not going to send that just now. The last thing I'm going to show you is Microsoft Teams. So I wonder if I can pull this over. Perfect. Nice one. So you can all see this now. So we've got a few things I'm going to show you. So mostly in the comments section. We're going to go down to the comments and we're going to type a comment. So good afternoon, everyone. Okay. There's a few things that I can do with that. I can actually click on the A down in the bottom right hand corner. You see that? Yes, you can. And now we've got options for our text. So I can make that text bold. I can, so that's what it looks like when it's bold. Doesn't look too much different, but you can make your text bold. You can italicize it. Is that the right word? Put it in italics. You can underline it. You can put a strike through as well. Okay, and you can highlight your text. So maybe you're wanting to put in keynotes for your learners. Maybe you're putting into the chat the instructions. Step 1, you could highlight in yellow. Step 2, you could highlight in blue. Step 3, highlight in pink. Or maybe you could highlight in yellow all the work that you want your students to do, or the job you're wanting to do just now in yellow, just on their own, and any work that you want them to do as a group in blue. Okay, so you can use the highlight tool for that. Turn off the highlighting, no highlight. I'm going to show you something really cool now. We are going to have a look at the translate function. So I can type in a piece of text. I'm just going to go to Bing again, and I'm going to type in English to French translation. So I could put in good morning, everyone. I hope you're having a great day. Okay. I can then copy the French translation. Maybe this is a parent in your class during asynchronous learning. Maybe this is a student who speaks a second language. I'm just going to paste that in, and I'm going to send that. Okay, so now we have our text, our comment in our chat. Okay, so as a student or as a teacher, I've got the option for more options, the 3 dots, and I can hit translate. So that's going to translate that into the language that my computer is using. Okay, so hi all, hope you're having a great day. Perfect, it's translated my student's comment into English for me. Amazing. So all I did was hit the 3 dots and hit translate. Okay, to go back, all you do is hit 3 dots and see original message. Okay, we've also got the option for the Immersive Reader. So I'm going to go back to English for you, and I'm going to hit Immersive Reader. Now this is going to open on a new, there we go. So it's going to open up the comment that I have selected, and it's going to also put in the student's name who has spoken it. So it is reading it in French for my student who has typed in French. Okay. I can change the voice settings. Again, the speed from fast to slow, change it from male to female. I can adjust all of these settings as we've spoken about before, changing the theme, the background, whatever suits your students. I quite like the sepia tone. We've got grammar, and we've got our translate function as well, which is really cool. So let's make this. Why am I buzzing? Is there a comment? Don't know. So I can highlight all of this comment, and I can actually translate that into another language. So I could translate the words into, let's go for Dutch. Okay, so it's going to translate all of these into Dutch for me. Is it? There we go. So single words, sorry. It's going to translate the single words into Dutch for me. So I can select them, and it's going to read those out to me. Maybe you use this for your second language in your class. Maybe you're getting your students to practice individual sounds. You can put a comment in Teams, and they can then go into the Immersive Reader and practice reading that second language. Or you can translate the whole document into that second language. And look, it's translated all of that into the second language. Okay, so I can change it to, let's go for Icelandic now. And it's going to adjust all of this text into by document. Come on. It's the giant mouse. There we go. There we go, into Icelandic now. Okay, so if you've got any learners who speak a different language, you could type your message in English, and they could then translate that comment into their home language. And what's cool is when I come out of that, it's going to have it back as it was originally. So nothing has changed. It's just for that learner. Okay. So the last thing I'm going to show you now is the live captions. So in our 3 dots up at the top, yep, you can see that. I'm going to come down and I can turn on live captions. Now I can see everything that has been typed at the bottom of my screen. Okay, it's not perfect. It's never going to be perfect, especially with Scottish accents, different accents from around the world. That's fine. This is as close as it's going to get. So if you've got a presentation and you've got people miles back at the back of the room, they can actually read what's being said if they're struggling to hear that. What's really cool is, as well, if you've got somebody who is also on the presentation and is also speaking, so unfortunately all your microphones are turned off just now, it's actually going to put their name at the start. So anything that's said by me is going to have Niall written there. Anything that's said by Pam or by anybody else who's in the meeting is going to have their name written for everyone who's viewing the captions. So that's a really cool thing that we've got in Microsoft Teams. So I'm going to pull you back over. Minimize that down. Okay, and we're going to pop back onto our presentation. So we've done Teams. So now we're coming to the end. I've got a little bit of a survey here for everyone, so I'm just going to whack that into the chat for you all. Still got these the captions on, so they're still writing down everything that I've said. There we go. I would really appreciate it if everyone could fill in that survey there. It's in the meeting chat. I'm just going to make it smaller again so that I can see everything. There we go. And I see you all in the Teams call. So I really appreciate it. It's going to take you maybe 20 seconds to fill in that survey. I'd really appreciate that. And now it's time for any questions. So if anyone has any questions, there we are. Please do pop them into the chat. I'm going to be more than happy to help you out and answer any of those questions. The survey's there. Up above, you've got the link for the code as well for the Microsoft Educator Center. Please put in your codes. You'll get your MIE badge for taking part in today's session. Thank you so much for joining me. All of our social media accounts are there on the left. I've been Niall. Yeah, so thank you so much for joining us today. Let me know how you've got on in the survey or in the comments. You'll find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn. You'll find us absolutely everywhere. Please do let us know how you've gotten on. So I can see we're getting a couple of messages here being typed in the comments. What's been your favourite thing so far? Thanks, Niall. No problem. So we will have this recorded session put out on our website as well. We're just working on putting everything up there as we speak. Pam's there doing that just now. So if you're needing to come back at all to see the sessions, please do join. Go into our website a couple of days or so. Let us finish up, and it's going to be up there for you. Amazing. Oh, I'm glad to hear. There's some good positive comments coming in. Thank you. So yeah, once you've done that, you are absolutely free to go. If you've got any questions, please stick around. And I'm happy to take any questions. I'm going to stop the recording there.